Coming up right now, male birth control can actually soon be a reality, but it's not going to be in the pill form. We'll tell you how you could be getting it.
Also coming up, a thief is busted stealing nearly 24 cans of potato chips. Why he told police, once you pop, you can't stop.
Oh, he's an addict. A little bit later on, see why Spock actor Zachary Quinto actually was banned from a restaurant when he was told, well, you're not going to be seated, Spock.
Don't you know who I am? Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash as we kick off this week. Happy Monday to you. We've got a great show lined up for you. Also got our buddy Matt Doolittle will be checking in here. Matty, how you been, buddy? How's life?
Well, over the weekend, the cat decided to Wolverine me.
The cat you got cat scratch fever?
I got cat scratch fever. It's a little
hold
itchy.
on, where? Hold it up.
It's like right there.
I don't see
No.
anything.
Oh, your finger's on it.
It's right. It's all there. It's all the.
You
it's
know
all the,
what you
Dude,
do?
you gotta man up.
Yeah, no. Get you some massengill, which I'm sure you have. Just rub it in there.
That's not right.
Well, I'm just saying. I've heard that might be a.
No.
You're so
different,
mean.
different
they're
kind
not.
of.
You just told me you had like a 5-minute conversation with
did.
your cat this morning.
No, I did. I did have.
We're the same people.
We are. I was just getting on to Matt earlier. I was like, Matt, you have a story about that cat, which, by the
Every
way, who
single
has
day.
his own Instagram.
Yes.
Something Biscuit.
Biscuit the Kiki.
Kiki.
That's his legal name. Is Biscuit the Kiki. Bizzkit.
Okay,
my
now
goodness.
when did you was it in a bong or did you smoke it when you came up with that name? I'm just curious. Biscuit the Kiki.
You know my life.
I love you, Matt. I'm just messing with you.
I love that Mitch is not really known to be a cat person. He's
No.
had dogs before, so he surrendered to the wife and said, "Okay, we'll get a couple of cats." So he's telling me as we're getting ready to do the show, this cat has attached itself
Yes.
to me, and I said, "That's because you are like him, sexy indifference. You don't
thank you.
care." And the cat's like, "You're my kind of dude."
I think Liza, my wife, that cat will not do anything with. He will follow me around. He listens to me and everything. I was like, I didn't want you. You're here now, and I'll have
That's
this
a
whole
total
conversation.
cat response.
Is it Dave the Wonder Dog reincarnated?
Kind of, yes. Dave the Wonder Dog, the Weather Dog. Yeah, he was a heck of a dog.
You want nothing to do with the cat, which is exactly how the cat identifies with
I
humans.
think so. I mean, and not that I hate cats, not that I
No,
hate
of course
animals,
not, no.
but it's just like but the whole story was they go, hey, we're gonna go look at a cat,
Yeah.
and brought home 2. And I was like outvoted and everything. Anyway, but
You were outvoted.
between the two, I do like having cats because they take care of themselves.
Low maintenance.
Very low
Yes,
maintenance.
very true.
And this cat, he's actually a cool cat. But I'm like, hey, you're a cat and I'm a man, so I'll just leave you alone.
Let's talk travel trends,
Okay.
high maintenance. What do you do when you're on a flight and someone says, "Hey, could you switch seats with me?"
It depends on where my seat is.
Okay.
No, actually, it depends on where their seat is.
Okay, very good. But on the spot, do you feel compelled to come up with an answer right away?
Yeah, I think I'm like, well, I'm comfortable here. You know, that sort of thing.
Well, especially if you pay more for a seat. You know, for instance, if
Yeah.
a woman came up to a guy who was in business class and said, "Hey, can you swap seats with my husband?" Well, he's back in coach.
Nope.
And then they got into a huge fight over it. And he's like, "Lady, I paid for this seat. Like, what?
100%.
I got a bad left leg. I'm keeping that aisle seat.
I just don't
There you
understand
go.
what's gotten into people. Like, why are they entitled to just switch seats on planes all of a sudden?
They think that you can do that. I think Southwest probably has a lot to do with it because you can pick your own seat and that sort of thing. And I think people don't realize, like the business, like if the guy told me, look, I paid more for this seat than you did, why can't,
Right.
you should go back there and that sort of thing. And I've had it one time where I was asked because they had a dad and had some kids. And I would have wound up in a middle seat.
Oh.
And I kind of gave him a little grief about it. But I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I have kids too, so I understand. And I had
Right.
to sit in the middle seat afterwards, and so the dad could sit there. And how about a little compensation? How about, all right, I'll do it for $20.
Right.
I have no problem with that, right?
You throw me $100, I
$100.
might switch.
Send me a
seats
couple
with you.
drinks back here, and then I'll be good.
There you go.
Exactly. Well, and then the other problem too is like if you've got a whole row to yourself, sometimes people buy those 2 extra seats, and then somebody mid-flight decides to get up and just sit in your row.
I love that.
How do you handle that one?
When you have to deal with that sort of thing. I've heard the best thing to do is, like, if you and I travel, is that when when people are coming in, if it's like a Southwest flight, just argue. And nobody wants to
sit right there.
Nobody wants to sit between two arguing. Well, I don't know. So we'll have to remember that next time we take a flight.
Good one. Yes.
I like that. My friend Steve McGrew, who's a comedian, he goes, what you do is you get coloring books and look up at people while you draw. Nobody wants to sit by that guy.
Or, hey, this rash just showed up when I got here. This is a little itchy. Is this cool? Just start showing it to people.
It'd be real itchy.
I love that. So you know what we need, and it'd be great. Maybe we can even post this. Is if you have good excuses that we could put and have them ready, because I think that's the key. Is just have them ready
Top
for that.
Top 10 excuses
Outside
not to swap seats with someone.
I like that. All right, let's talk about this. Talking about being dads. Maybe some folks don't want to.
Yeah.
Men actually could soon be able to, shoulder the responsibility of birth control. There's a new birth control gel rubbed into shoulder blades once daily that shows actually promising results in a new trial. Now, researchers think this new gel is actually meant to keep men from producing the sperm without impacting their sex drive or actually causing any other side effects. Past tests, trials took between 9 and 15 weeks for men to see results. Researchers think the faster-acting birth control gel may be a better option. There's no FDA-approved birth control options for men, despite decades of research. Plans to actually push the gel into phase 3 of the trial will depend on more funding. Thank you. This is how it starts, too.
Matt, you got enough.
No, listen, here's the thing, Matt. I don't think you and me are going to have a kid together, so I think we're all right. So you can go back to massage.
You never know.
I think it's a good idea, though.
In certain circles, they would argue with you over that point.
True.
Yes.
But I think they're smart by doing the gel thing, because, you're going on a date. It's like, all right, are we about to have some fun? And, and you can start off with the
Okay,
massage.
my perspective here.
Okay, good. I'd love to hear what a woman thinks.
If I'm depending on you to use...
Say no more.
Nope. Don't rely on us. Do not rely on us. Nope.
You know what? Perfect.
Every guy in here is laughing the same way, too.
That is the perfect response.
No, in addition to that, not only if I'm relying on you, but I'm relying on you to get between your shoulder blades somehow and apply this gel. Are you kidding me?
I got a cramp.
That's
I can't reach back.
I can't reach back.
The shoulder blades, the most difficult spot to get to yourself.
That is actually funny as heck. You're right.
What in the world? Who designed this? A dude.
A dude? I was going to say a dude did.
Dude. So not only do I have to massage it into your shoulder blades, but I have to
you got to make it a
to-
pleasurable experience.
It's back and you're right. Nobody can.
I'm reading this through.
I can't.
Seriously?
Hold on, honey. I got arthritis. I pulled a muscle over here.
That is hilarious.
I don't get it.
I do feel men should be the one taking birth control in the first place.
I think it should be a joint effort.
Yeah, well, obviously, because women have to go through so much, and I'm not. I think that, but you nailed right on the head. It's like, if I'm going to depend on you.
I mean, could you imagine sweet baby James, our producer, trying to rub it on his shoulders? He got some big old shoulders, right?
James's shoulders are the size of his studio.
Imagine LL Cool J showing up.
Yeah,
He's like, hey, baby,
exactly.
rub some of this on my back.
A Pringle thief told police in the
That's
UK, once you
hilarious.
pop, you just can't stop after his arrest over a series of robberies. Adam Spencer stole 17 cans of Pringles in one go during a shoplifting spree. The 40-year-old was spotted by police officers on patrol and identified him as a suspect in connection with a series of burglaries. While Spencer fled on his bicycle, police tried to arrest him. He was eventually caught, admitted his guilt, was sentenced the same day. He received a 6-month prison sentence. Spencer was also ordered to pay $200 to compensate for his crimes and complete a mandatory 6-month drug rehab program.
A little side note, the guy who invented Pringles was actually, and this is no joke, was buried in a huge Pringles can.
Was he
I don't know if
really?
you knew that.
I was expecting you to say he was shot out of a rocket.
That'd actually be
in a
cooler, wouldn't it?
Pringles can.
Yeah. I mean, right there they say once you stop, once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's not his fault, right?
They're pretty good.
I love me some
Especially
Pringles.
when you make them a duck face.
The duck mouth, the duck lips.
It's the best thing to get at a hotel room. Like when you check in, they got the mini bar right there. Oh my goodness! Like
Come here,
that Pringles. Okay,
Come here,
hold
baby,
on.
come here.
Stand by.
Okay,
back
we're
to
going
our
back to the
first
story.
story.
Let's see how this goes.
James,
This is James.
James just started listening to the
can you-
show.
can you-
I didn't want to come in because I'm boosting the show, so I didn't want to get in trouble.
I got you.
But the boss said get in here, so I can't help. I used to play football.
But can you get to your shoulders?
Yeah.
Try, no.
No. Shoulder blades.
Right here.
Between the shoulder blades.
That's where you need it. It's right here.
It's got to be right there in the middle.
And you can't trust a woman to do it because she may put lotion back there if she wants to get pregnant. I'm just saying. I'm calling it out.
I'm sorry, how many kids do you have?
I got 3. Hey.
That he knows of.
3. Clearly, different kinds of lotions being used.
LL is lotion, ladies lotion.
Ladies love the lotion.
Ladies
James.
love lotion, James. All right, we got more Flash coming up right here on Daily Flash. Stick around.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. Parents with teenagers, have you discussed the importance of mental health with your kids? If you are struggling with the topic, we are here to help. Joining us to talk about sparking the parent-child conversation is the author of Uplift Teens Today, Coping Strategies for Mental Health, Taanvi Arekapudi. Taanvi, welcome back to Daily Flash.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here today.
When is the right time for parents, in your opinion, to start talking about mental health with their teens?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like any time before a crisis, obviously, when there's a mental health crisis going on, it's not the best time to talk to your child or to your child about mental health or your teenager about mental health. Starting beforehand, the preventative approach rather than the proactive approach or the reactive approach is so much better. So anytime, just check in with them before a crisis so you build that relationship and can help prevent a crisis.
I think it's a struggle for most parents trying to connect with their kids, especially as they're going through the teen phase. They struggle with starting these kinds of conversations because of a generation gap, right? How do these differences affect communication about the topic?
Yeah, there's a huge generation gap. And that's like when the current parents were growing up, they didn't talk about mental health. They had so much stigma about it and they needed the support but couldn't get it. And now the teenagers, we have a bit more openness about mental health, a bit less stigma. And so both of these kind of views where we're all learning together how to get support and how to give support. So it's so important to remember that we're learning together in these experiences and the communication is going to be hard, it's going to be different, it's going to be new, but we're in this together.
Taanvi, what practical tips can you give parents to create an environment where their teens feel comfortable sharing their thoughts?
Yeah, the most important practical tip is to be non-judgmental space, create that non-judgmental space. And we've all probably heard that before, but how you can do that is really as a parent or guardian, telling your child anytime throughout the day for a couple of days, just letting them know hey, you're not alone. You can let me know whatever you're going through and I won't judge. I'm here for you. And so as you keep saying that, the child maybe one day they're stressed for a test and they may not want to tell their parent. But as a parent says that to them, they'll be like, hey, I can go talk to my parent. So that kind of creates this comfortable space that we can talk with each other and also sets the example hey, you can do this. I'm here for you.
Yeah, I think creating some sort of validation, saying, "Look, I understand where you're coming from. You're feeling this way. I get it. You're okay. You're in a safe space. Let's talk about it." How can parents effectively show their support and become an ally for their teens? Because that's the important part. You want to know if someone's on your side.
Definitely, yeah. So I like to think of it in kind of 3 steps. The first, we did the non-judgmental. The second, the child shares about their emotions. And we'll talk about the card deck later for that. But then after you do that second one and you have their emotions in front of you, as a parent or guardian, you can say, here are the 3 things I can do. I can continue lending a listening ear. I can share my advice or my story. Or the third one is I can share a strategy. And if it's a strategy, doing a breathing technique or something like that together is so important because we're going to practice together and empower together.
And you mentioned the emotion cards. Let's talk about that. The emotion cards, they can spark an important conversation about mental health and well-being.
Yeah, so I actually created an emotion cards deck last summer, and the really idea of that is like the emotion wheel, but in a card deck form, and you're able to open the communication about mental health because it's more of a game about mental health, really, and you're identifying that specific emotion with prompts along the way, emojis, colors, definitions, and when you get to that specific emotion, there's going to be a definition of it, so you can acknowledge that, yeah, I have this, I'm not shooing it away because it's negative. And then once you acknowledge it, you have a strategy, which is a light bulb strategy that you can use. And if the parent, guardian, and child is doing this together, they can do that strategy together. And so it's really an amazing opportunity to bring the conversation up about mental health in a really subtle way, but also identify the emotion. Because as teenagers, that's something we're learning newly. And also, like the adults being able to do that together can create a space where, hey, whatever emotion I'm going through, whatever mental health challenge I'm going through, I know my parent is there for me. And I just wanted to say to all the parents out there, thank you so much for all the amazing work you do. We're so grateful to have you in our lives.
Oh, I think that gratitude can go a really long way. I want to ask you for a moment about social media and smartphones. We know that the iPhone is turning 17 this year, which is crazy to think about. A single generation knows nothing but life with a smartphone. And that tends to, scientists and researchers have said that has created some blocks when it comes to communication. So I can see how that is creating a block between parents and kids when it comes to communicating. So you have to find a new way to communicate with your kids when it comes to dealing with this as sort of a roadblock. Any advice for parents when it comes to monitoring smartphones or taking a different approach when it comes to limiting screen time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like the American Academy of Pediatrics, they kind of created this 5 C's of mental health, and it's really just to help because, of course, we're not doing the 2 hour screen time limit anymore because
Yeah.
that's not able, because the child is more unique. And so letting them based off the child, based off the content they see, based off the things that they interact with, how they use social media, the parent and child come together and explore what's a good time limit for them or how they can use it and be good for their own mental health. But if you're talking about the mental health terms, the parent can text the child in this conversation, they can send Instagram reels, and that kind of stuff helps them keep bonded through the phone and in real life. And personally, like I love when my parents do that because I'm able to have that social media connection with them and they're trying something new just to support me. And that's something that's important as well to talk about these topics and learn together in the social media field.
Yeah, it's all part of that validation. Look, I hear you. I know how you like to communicate. Here's an emoji. Here's an Instagram reel. Here's something on Snapchat. I mean, there are different ways of communicating. And I think as a parent, it has to be your responsibility of trying to figure out how best to communicate. That's why I think those cards are so important because visually, like we talk in text mode, we think in emoji. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's just the truth. That's the culture we live in these days.
Definitely, yeah, and a lot more emojis are being invented, which is an amazing
Yes.
idea because we have more emotions.
That's true. Taanvi, always great to speak with you. For more information on Taanvi's book, head to taanvi.us, Uplift Teens Today, How to Spark the Parent-Child Conversation. And her book is there. It's available. Make sure you check out her website. Always a pleasure to have you, Taanvi. Stay with us. Daily Flash continues in just a moment. In this week's Boss Lady, we hear from 5 successful entrepreneurs who share their struggles and inspiration for success. They discuss their turning point when they knew they were on the right path.
You have all created businesses from out-of-the-box thinking. What made you veer left when everybody else was going right? Bobby.
When I moved to New York, it was the 80s and everyone was doing the, over made up contour look. I know it's back. I still don't like contour. So I would make up the models to make them look like they weren't wearing makeup, and that was my calling card. But there was no makeup available that allowed you to do that. I met a chemist one day at a shoot and I said, I can't find a lipstick that didn't smell, wasn't greasy, and I wanted to match lips. Then I realized, wow, this is something.
For me, entrepreneurship, it wasn't something that I aspired to. I always wanted to be an inventor. If I can be the perfect balance between Beyonce and Bill Nye the Science Guy every single day. Now we're installing our technologies around different countries in emerging markets, turning everything from floors and roads to baby strollers into energy generating solutions.
You guys both touched on this idea of identifying problems that existed in your life and looking at ways that you could shape an industry rather than looking at the industry itself. I started a fashion technology company with my co-founder. We had no fashion or technology experience. We knew what it meant to buy a dress for $1,000, wear it once, and then be photographed on social media and feel like you could never wear it again.
Right.
So we're like, well, that doesn't make sense. Renting dresses made sense. If you thought too far down the road, it could be easy to find all the why nots versus the how can you make this happen.
I want to hear Angela's story, talking about how you are helping helping young entrepreneurs.
So I started New Me, which is an accelerator for minorities in 2011. We focus only on the technology industry, which at the time, it was young, technical, white guys club. I did not really start New Me as a business. It was a problem that I wanted to solve, and I thought it was gonna be like a one-time project.
What do you see is standing in between these women and the dollars that you know they need to succeed?
When I work with men, they are not scared to ask for money, even if what they are working on is mediocre. But women can have something phenomenal, but it's like we hold ourselves back. So a lot of the work that I do, in particular with women, is confidence building, is getting them comfortable with asking for the money.
Priya, I want to talk about the impact you are having on actual people, helping them create wealth in a way that they've never even thought of before.
Historically, financial planning has been reserved for the wealthy. And when I was working on Wall Street, my clients were old and rich, and all of my friends at the same time were wondering, where do we go for the answers? There's this completely underserved, kind of ignored demographic that we call Henrys, high earners, not rich yet.
I so often hear young women say, I just want to be paid what I'm worth, but I don't even know what that means. And I very rarely hear young women say, I want to make a lot of money, right? It's as if we all sort of internalize this idea that the budget's not there.
Research show that men are 4 times more likely than women to ask. So it's Stash Wealth, salary negotiations come up. Set it as a goal though, and it has to be a very concrete goal. Like, I want to buy a $250,000 house in 3 years. So I want to get a raise, and let's back into what you need to do today to be on track.
The flip side that millennials have to be very careful of is entitlement. For example, one kid said, I feel like I really need to make X. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. For this job, if you do all of this research, this is the highest you can get paid. And he's like, yeah, I didn't really think about what the job was. I just kind of thought, New York. What are you saying?
I don't think women talk about comp and salaries in the same way men do. Women I advise, some of the most valuable help I give them is actually talking in a real way about what should you be making, but getting the data out there, that's hard, especially amongst women, because there are fewer women who are in leadership roles.
I find younger women are much more transparent with their salary. And for them, it's not TMI, it's cocktail talk. And I think that lifting the veil is gonna get us all closer to equality. In The Big Life, I have an entire chapter devoted to the side hustle secret to success. How do you know when it's time to make your side hustle your main hustle?
I fully believe in the side hustle. And in fact, when I worked in finance, because I was not passionate about finance, I would spend whatever time I had doing college essay editing, which I kind of made a little business around, but ultimately went to business school and co-founded Rent the Runway in business school. So I was kind of side hustling it. I was taking classes, but I'm a pretty risk-averse entrepreneur. So the whole way I had a timeline of milestones that we had to meet. And I think it was helpful for me and my co-founder. It kept us honest. Ultimately, one of those milestones was raising money. And for me, raising money was another way of checking myself on, was this a good concept that VCs would put their name behind? So I very much believe that parallel processing and kind of always having a little bit of a safety net, and then just being honest with yourself if something's not working.
If you know a boss lady you think should be featured on our show, we want to hear from you. Drop me a line at Andrea@dailyflashshow.com. We would love to hear from you and share a new bossy story with all of our viewers. And if you want to check out all of our previous Boss Lady segments, all you have to do is head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Once you're there, just look for the Boss Lady tab, click on it, and it will take you to all the previous Boss Ladies we featured on the show. Again, the website is dailyflashshow.com. We're back right after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hey everybody, Mitch English here.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
Okay, I love valiant efforts. I don't think it's going to do much, but our buddy Flavo Flav has been trying to save Red Lobster. Have you heard about this?
No!
So he's actually been going into Red Lobsters in and around his area and literally buying the entire inventory out. Seriously? And what's even cooler about it, he's just not buying it just for himself. He takes the food and gives it to those in need. He's done it in several different locations. Well, and obviously it's got little people talking about it. Red Lobster has gone to him. He's now doing commercials for Red Lobster. And here's the only thing I would say. Get paid up front, Flav.
Yes.
Right?
The
Or
one
in
by
cash.
me is closed. The Ultimate one in Altamont is closed.
The one on 50, is that one?
Yep, that's closed.
Man, that's
Yeah.
our house.
That's unfortunate. I ended
yeah.
up going to the Red Lobster test kitchen because it's located. It was located
Yeah, 'cause
right here in
you're here in
Central
Orlando.
Florida. I think it still is here in
Still in
Orlando,
downtown.
But it, it's a combination of inflation, economy. Folks are still trying to struggle with having money in the bank.
shrimp thing is what
the
killed
shrimp,
me.
the all-you-can-eat shrimp, and the rent. By the way, that was one of the big deciding factors.
They got gypped by Darden.
Yeah.
When they got sold by Darden to this venture capitalist, Darden kept
Hedge
the real
fund
estate.
folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think that, and plus all the crap they put on the walls can't be
cheap?
at all. If you think about that, it is kind of sad because I grew up with Red Lobster, even though I only went there maybe
Every birthday
3
or
or 4 times.
celebration thing.
There's a seafood lover in me.
There is.
And I would
Yes,
do it.
there
It's
is.
sad to see that, but Flavor Flav is doing whatever he can. Some are saying, because of the hedge fund after they sold it from Darden and that sort of thing. And by the way, they're based. They were at least based here in
Orlando.
Orlando.
They're downtown.
And they were. If you go by the building, it's a huge building and a little tiny
red
lobster.
But it still feels like we're a big city.
It makes it look like
With
the
a
building
little
looks
lobster.
bigger.
With a little
And do you
lobster.
want to know how small it is? Like if you look at a Red Lobster sign, I think they just took one off a store and just put it
and
on
then
this
just put
huge
it on the
30 building.
And if you didn't know it was there, you
Yeah.
totally miss it. But it's kind of like what do they call that at Disney? Those little hidden Mickey.
Hidden
Oh,
Mickey.
yeah,
It's a hidden lobster.
Yeah,
hidden
lobster.
lobsters everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, a restaurant in Canada has put actor Zachary Quinto on blast after they claimed he yelled like an entitled child and made a host cry. Manita is a restaurant in Toronto. It describes itself as a Mediterranean-style bistro. They took to their socials to call the 47-year-old actor an amazing Spock, but a terrible customer. Quinto failed to reply to texts informing him that his table was ready. When he finally showed up, he was told his reservation had been canceled.
Whoa.
He refused to accept that a few empty tables in the dining room were taken and he couldn't be seated. Quinto, who made a name for himself as Spock, has been open about his struggles with alcohol after his quick rise to fame. It was one of those "don't you know who I am" moments.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really been in the news all that much. And
No.
by the way, I cannot look at him and not see Spock. So
Yeah.
I think, except for that mustache, he needs to stay
He
away
looks
from
like
the
he looks like a wish off of Freddie Mercury.
That's what I was going to
look.
say in that one shot that we
yeah,
just
yeah,
showed.
yeah.
Live long and be a jerk.
We don't know the whole thing, but making somebody cry obviously tells you that the voices were raised and maybe
Yes.
some personal attacks as well. But, these things happen. My biggest problem that I have is when they take your phone, and I didn't even know this until about 2 or 3 times, and they'll say, we'll text you. I stand there and I say, hey, can you text me? When will I get the text is what I need to ask.
Yes.
Because what happened is my phone would, if it was unsolicited text message, it would automatically go to spam, like a spam text
yes,
thing.
yes.
And I was out on a date one time, obviously before I got married, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and I went up there and I'm gonna raise some. I went all Zachary Quinto on him.
Did you?
And they're like, sir, we texted you. Go, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And they go, well, did you check see if there's a spam thing? I go, well, I'm sure. I don't know. Yeah, you did text me
20 times
I
and
felt
you
like
never
it.
responded.
Right. So make sure you keep that done. But and that sounds like that kind of was like the situation, but even still, listen, it's not their fault.
It's not their fault. And the thing is, like, you got to a point where you were so angry you made somebody cry. If that's true, I mean, has the guy never worked in a restaurant? I mean, there's part of it too. Like, okay, so you can't get a table. Move on. There are worse things, right?
Right.
Go somewhere else.
It says more about you about that, and when you start raising heck, and we or just give them the little.
Give them the
shoulder
Vulcan,
thing.
not between the shoulder
Not
blades,
between it, but just on
but
that
just
Vulcan.
in the back. All right.
More Daily Flash coming up. We promise.
According to a new survey from Discover Home Loans, high interest rates are having a major impact on American homeowners. Here with more is Rob Cook with Discover Home Loans.
Great. Thanks for having me. I lead marketing and analytics for Discover Home Loans. We're the nation's largest provider of home equity loans. And one thing we do every year, which we're super excited about, is do a survey of 1,500 American homeowners to see how today's economic environment is impacting their finances and decisions whether to buy a new home or renovate their existing one. And what we found with that is that in terms of the home buying process has been greatly impacted by by the current interest rate. In fact, 84% of people that were in the market for a home has said that interest rates are having a profound impact, and about half those people are no longer in the housing market. And when we asked them again, like, well, how far would rates need to come down for them to re-enter the market? And they told us an overwhelming majority, 2/3, said the rates would need to come down to 5% or lower before they would enter the market. The next questions we asked these people were in terms of how was the dual impact of sort of higher inflation and higher interest rates impacting their finances. And so we're seeing people make necessary changes to their discretionary spending. About 50% have reduced their discretionary spending. But we're also seeing a lot of activity in terms of how they're managing their debt obligations. And one of the things that people are doing in today's environment is getting their financial house in order by taking a debt consolidation loan, which is taking a new loan, but using the proceeds of that loan to pay off their existing debt, many of which in cases is variable rate and is the payments are increasing in today's environment. And one great option for doing a debt consolidation loan is a home equity loan, which allows people to access the equity they have available in their home without impacting the rate they have on their primary mortgage. It also allows people to get a rate which is lower than other financial alternatives they may have, such as credit cards. And also some providers, such as Discover Home Loans, you can get a home equity loan with no cash due at closing and zero origination fees. The other category we asked people was about home renovations. We're seeing a lot of demand there. About 55% of people would rather stay in their home and do a home renovation versus do a move or stay in their house as is. And in order to manage that, I would really encourage people to put aside additional money because costs might be higher than what you anticipated previously because of inflation. And secondly, as you think about financing options, I would encourage people to take options that don't impact the primary rate they're paying on their mortgage, such as a home equity loan can be a great option for those people. So to get more information, I encourage people to go to discoverhomeloans.com. We have lots of articles and tips to provide people understanding what loan options are available to them, as well as calculators to help them determine how much money they could save with a debt consolidation.
Are you looking to cut costs and stretch your budget further? AARP's 15th edition of 99 Great Ways to Save is here with brand new tips. Here's what you should know.
The 15th edition of AARP's 99 Great Ways to Save showcases an all-new collection of tips to help consumers cut costs and boost their budget. Deputy editor of AARP Bulletin and AARP the Magazine, David Brindley, is here with more.
In turbulent economic times, saving is more important than ever. Our team of experts looked at how to save on home improvement, what to buy used for the best value, and scoring great deals for online shopping.
The latest edition also highlights some unique personal finance moves.
Now is a great time to research bank savings accounts to find rates of 4 to 5%. For instance, on a $10,000 balance, a 5% interest rate could net you $500 in a year compared to just $100 at 1%. And don't forget to set reminders for credit card payments to avoid those expensive late fees.
For more finance and budgeting tips, visit aarp.org/99 ways to save. That's aarp.org/99 ways to save.
KSA Entertainment is proud to produce and provide a robust collection of entertaining, uplifting, and timely content to broadcast, cable, and streaming platforms in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. KSA Entertainment. On point, on air.
Hey, if you're a teacher, parent, or student, you don't need me to tell you what time of year it is. But if you want to know what's cool for school this year, Tech Life expert Stephanie Humphrey is here with some of her A+ ideas. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hey, and thanks for having me. Yeah, I teamed up with some awesome brands to give you some cool back-to-school shopping inspiration.
Okay, let's start with something cool for the preschoolers this year.
Well, according to a study by the Lego Group, 89% of children say play helps them express themselves and how they feel. So for the little ones 2 and up, the Lego Duplo Peppa Pig supermarket set is perfect for little hands because the Lego bricks are double the size to help with fine motor skills. Kids get to play with their favorite Peppa Pig characters and spend time in their very own make-believe supermarket. They'll get hours of entertainment from this colorful play set, and it makes a great addition to their toy collection too.
You know, nowadays a laptop is a must-have for school, but what should we look for this season?
Well, you're going to get impressive power and performance with the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7X. It's only half an inch thick and weighs less than 3 pounds. A Snapdragon X Elite processor enables super fast connectivity with Wi-Fi 7 and multi-day battery life, which means you can create anywhere you go. And take advantage of all that AI has to offer with Microsoft Copilot Plus that's built into Snapdragon powered PCs. I love that this laptop can grow with your student from high school through college, but also has enough power for a busy professional.
What made your list as a go-to back-to-school essential?
Well, teachers and students know and love these essential school supplies from Crayola, including classic crayons, ultra clean washable markers, and colored pencils. Plus, add even more creative fun to the school year with the new Crayola swirl crayons, twistable swirl crayons, and swirl colored pencils with multicolor technology that combines 3 to 4 colors inside a single stick. Perfect for colorful adventures. Kids can color with ease in school and at home with these new and classic art tools that turn imagination into action.
Big question, are there any ways to help our wallets while shopping for back to school?
Well, between electronics, school supplies, and toys, there's a lot to consider this back-to-school season, and it all adds up. The PayPal app is an awesome tool to save money and find offers from some of your favorite brands. Just click to save the offer, and then it automatically applies at checkout. Plus, you can stack these offers with your favorite card, like the PayPal Cashback MasterCard, where you get an additional 3% cashback when you pay with PayPal.
Thanks, Stephanie. Where can we go for more info?
Just head to inthenews.tv for all the links and more information.
Great, Stephanie. We'll have this on our website at dailyflashshow.com. New data issued by MetLife and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce finds that small businesses, well, they think that using AI could give them a competitive edge. Here with more are Jordan Crenshaw, Senior Vice President of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Technology Engagement Center, and Karen Raftery, Head of Regional Business Sales for MetLife.
The Small Business Index is a snapshot into our small business sector. It tracks what small business owners view of our economy, business challenges, as well as how they feel about how their own business is doing. This quarter, small business owners are more optimistic, or the most optimistic they've been since 2020. There's a lot of excitement around AI. 67% of small businesses expect AI proficiencies to be a core competency and skill in their upcoming job postings.
If you want to learn more about how employees can learn more about AI, I encourage you to visit us at uschamber.com. But there are also other available options to learn more. One is through local chambers of commerce, community college programs, and it's really important that small business employees take up employers' offer of AI training.
What better way to enjoy the summer than enjoying it while you save some money? Joining us today with some ways to save money is social media expert Stephanie Hill of Whataburger. Welcome, Stephanie.
Good morning, Matt.
So why is it important to find some time for summer fun?
Summertime is all about making those special memories over craveable food, and that's what Whataburger is all about. That's why I like to say the only thing hotter than this summer heat is Whataburger's Summer of Savings deals. So whether you're swinging through the drive-thru on a summer road trip or dining in after hitting the pool or just ordering from your Whataburger app, these savings are going to fill you up without squeezing your wallet. And if National Chicken Wing Day wasn't on your calendar yet, jot it down. It's July 29th, and Whataburger is celebrating with a buy one, get one free Whata Wings offer. That's July 29th, and this will be available as a BOGO in the Whataburger app only, so don't miss it.
Can you give us some reasons to celebrate summer before, the back to school year begins?
Yeah, start a family tradition. Load up the whole family and go to your favorite Whataburger for a fun meal or a sweet treat. I know my son is going to be so excited about this one. Every Tuesday in August, kids eat free. And that offer applies to anything on the Whataburger kids meal menu. One free kids meal is available for each full-size, regularly priced meal purchased. And we have a lot more deals you don't want to miss. From August 12th to August 16th, we are giving away free Buffalo Ranch chicken strip sandwiches when you purchase a medium fry, medium drink. And for breakfast, you get a free 12-ounce hot coffee or 16-ounce iced coffee with the purchase of any breakfast entree. And on August 8th, we're giving away free birthday shakes for our 74th birthday. These aren't just any shakes. They are birthday cake flavored in that gorgeous Whataburger orange. They're gorgeous, they're delicious. It's only here for our birthday, and it's free to Rewards members.
And where can we go for more info?
So download the app now, become a Rewards member, and you can get more info at whataburger.com.
Thanks, Stephanie, and we'll be sure to have this on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
Thank you.
Technology is an essential tool for today's students. As kids head back to school, it's crucial they have the skills and access needed to succeed in this digital age. Chris Sirico has the story.
This back-to-school season, Verizon has best-in-class value for students and teachers. We know that tech accidents can happen, so get Verizon Mobile Protect for 24/7 tech support, no-cost glass repair, and unlimited claims for $19 a month. Add within 30 days of activating a new device or enroll your existing device from August 15th until October 13th. For younger kids, stay connected with the Gizmo Watch. It lets you track their location and send messages to parent-approved contacts. Give reliable, fast 5G home internet to your student starting at $35 a month and help them save on streaming services with My Home. Protect their home tech with Verizon Home Device Protect. Teachers can get the most out of My Plan starting as low as $25 per line. Plus, they can get $180 when switching and bringing their own phone. Both families and teachers can unwind by streaming their favorite content. And with My Plan and My Home, get the Disney Bundle. Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus for just $10 a month. Get ready for school at verizon.com/back-to-school events.
Thanks for all that great info, and we'll make sure we have it on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. It's time to take a look at the lifestyles of the rich and famous. We're going to dive into some celebrity real estate.
Okay. Let's start with Gwyneth Paltrow. She is preparing for an empty nest. After her son Moses graduated from high school, she put her Los Angeles mansion on the market for around $30 million. The 51-year-old Paltrow says she wants to downsize. The Goop founder bought the 8,000 square foot home for about $10 million back in 2012 while married to her now ex-husband Chris Martin. The former couple's 8-bedroom, 11-bath home was built in 1950, renovated in 2009. The sprawling home is at the end of a winding driveway, has a gray brick exterior. Its entryway features black and white tiles and French doors. There's a living room with a fireplace, a bar, and lots of bookshelves.
It looks like her house
Yeah.
for some reason. That's exactly what it looks like. We move on now to Jim Carrey. He's actually dropped the price of his longtime LA estate once again. He's 62 years old, and he has initially listed his sprawling 11,000 square foot Brentwood mansion for a hefty $28 million back in February of last year. But the lavish pad has failed to find a buyer, prompting Carrey to repeatedly slash the price. The first cut came 2 months after the original listing. It dropped to $27 million. By October 2023, the price dropped again to $24. Carrey's now settling on $21 million. That's $7 million off the original asking price. Price cuts highlight the reality facing California's luxury home market ever since the controversial Los Angeles mansion tax actually kicked in. Any real estate sold for more than $5 million faces a 4% tax bill. Anything over $10 million will be taxed at 5.5%. So Jim Carrey is looking at paying more than $1 million in taxes when he actually sells his house.
Oh boy. Hall of Famer Derek Jeter has found a buyer for his unique mansion in upstate New York after dropping the asking price by more than $8 million. Originally listed for nearly $15 million in 2018, the Greenwood Lake home is located less than 50 miles from New York City, sits on 4 acres. The new owner bought the nearly 9,000 square foot medieval-looking home for just $6 million. The magical property has extensive lake views and has been lovingly restored. In addition to the main home, the estate features a guest house, a pool house, and a boathouse. The 49-year-old former New York Yankees star purchased the home in 2003 for $425,000.
Oh, wow.
Spent nearly $3 million on renovations.
I like it. I look at
Yeah.
the acreage around it, too. You don't have anything
Beautiful.
behind you and that infinity pool. Really, really nice there. We want to thank you for letting us inside your home and hope you do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com, for more information.
Bye-bye, y'all. See you when we look at you.